Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TIL. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is music. The girl group Flow put out a song. I think it's been about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, called "Recently Deleted." And I listened to the song over the uh, um, over the weekend, and it's a real good R&B mid-tempo, up-tempo type of sound to the song. The song really is reminiscent of a sample of an old Destiny Child song. And like I said in previous videos, they finally decided to take on the compliment of being the next Destiny's Child or the newest Destiny's Child of this generation. And so I'm glad they kind of embrace that, because for a while they were trying to say that they want to be Flo and stuff like that. But you do have to pay homage to the girl groups that came before you, like June's Diary used to do when they were together. But like I said, this is a good R&B type of song. It starts off like with a little like some kind of little instruments playing in the background, and then Stella comes on singing her verse. She starts it off, and then after that, Renee comes in and sings her verse, and then Georgia comes in on the third verse, and then they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I really did like the song, and this is what I wrote in my notes. I said this. I said recently deleted is a song that starts off with the guitar playing in the background. The ladies come in singing their verses, and it's like I said, a mid-tempo to up-tempo type of song. And so, and so, I did like the song, and it sounds better to me. Cause when I first heard it, I kind of listened a little bit to it on YouTube. And for some reason, sometime on YouTube they played a studio version, but when I listened to it on my Spotify, it sounded much better because it was a version that they have out. They also came out with a video for the song too, and the video concept is in line with the song. It starts off like I said with Stella. She had got on some blue jeans, blue jeans with rhinestones at the bottom and in the middle of the jeans, and she has like on a halter top, and she has on like a red short velvet type of vest to go on it. So I don't know if they shot this video when it was in the wintertime or whatever, but she had a coat on, and she came out singing recently deleted. You're the only one. And then switch to the next scene. This is the video I'm talking about. It switched to the next scene where where they showed where they showed where they showed where they showed Renee. Uh, First they showed all three of them singing and sitting down on the sofa. Then it switched back to Renee being upside down and singing on the sofa. Her legs were up against the wall while her head and stuff, when she was shaking her head and singing that part recently deleted. And then they showed Georgia dancing on the sofa with some black with some black tights and with some black tights on and a dress, and she had her legs crossed when she was singing her part. And then it switched back to all three of them singing on the sofa, and then it switched back to to um, to Stella singing outside again, and then it showed Stella singing again on the sofa by herself, and then it switched to Renee doing the same thing. But then the second scene with Renee, she was on She was on like a rooftop singing with a dark, singing in a dark, brown velvet vest, and she was singing, and she had her hair up, and it was like a red wig, and she had her hair up, and she was singing recently deleted, and the background was she was singing on top of a rooftop, and they had the lights out in the back, and she was just singing, and the wind was blowing, and then they showed Stella standing up singing by herself again, and then the video just played back and forth, and stuff like that. And then it just went out. We said recently deleted, and then they were singing on the sofa, and then they all bust out laughing at the end, and the video ended. I like the video, and I really like the song. Uh, this is the this is the first new song that the Flow has put out since they released their album last year called Access. I mean called All Access, and so I know it's called Access All Areas, and that was a good album. I don't know why that album didn't chart as well as I thought it was gonna do, but most of the songs on that album I really did like and stuff like that. So I'm glad they're still putting out new music and putting out new music and also still riding up the high horse of their album. Now their album did have some songs that were what you would call mainstream radio hits, but the whole album was good to me. That's all I have for this video. This is A Whistling. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.